Thank you everyone for joining me this morning. Isn't it great to have that introduction? But I'm nervous as hell. So just so that you know, I've pulled out the new Kid Power, which is Valor for children, but I love the smell of it. So I'm just going to oil myself up. And if you haven't got this, it is the most exquisite perfume on the planet. It has got orange, vanilla, and Valor in there. And it is like a popsicle orange dream. So anyway, so that's my new favorite, and I just love it, but great for this. So so thank you for joining me this Sunday morning. So I had the pleasure of wanting to bring to you Bloom from the Inside Out, and something that I'm really super passionate. I've been obsessed with skincare since I was 12 years old. And isn't that bizarre? So, but where we used to go, we used to live in Geraldton, and before we'd go to the beach, my girlfriends would come over and they'd be going, what the hell is she doing? She's blow drying her hair, she's putting lipstick on, she's covering herself in freaking everything just to go to the beach. And, you know, those days for me have really served me well, because my aunt who passed away and my mum were really amazing. They were great beauty advocates and really good beauty coaches in my world, and they would teach me about, you know, getting dressed to look, you know how it makes you feel as a woman inside, but also protecting our skin. So, you know, putting lipstick for me was really good because it protected my lips, because it had cocoa butter in there. So it was all these little things that I was taught, and I'd come back from the beach and the girls would go, what the hell is she doing in that shower? And I'd come out and I'd put all my moisturizers on from head to toe and all those wonderful things. But the skin is not just the face. It is truly from head to toe. And we have to take that time to look after it. So today I want to show you how you too can have beautiful, radiant looking skin, and how important the skin plays in our everyday wellness. So today I'm going to address some of those major factors that challenge us with our skin. So one is sagging skin, all right. The other one's the fine lines and the wrinkles, the lack of elasticity. So that means that if you're like me, you put on weight and then you lose weight, or your body fluctuates. Mine doesn't go as dramatically as I'd like it to, but it's a work in progress. And dullness and dryness, it does affect that, because if you have a rapid weight loss, all of a sudden you're going to have this skin that's sagging. So today I want to teach you or share with you some tips that I think will help support that as well. So let's think of your skin as a building. Well, it's your home, and it's your temple, as I like to call it. It's my temple. But actually the skin is what holds your temple and your building together. So it is the largest organ in the body, and it's the most important to me, I believe. And I'm going to share with you why. So the skin's made up of 3 layers. So it has the epidermis, it has a the dermis, and it has the hypodermis. So it's made up of 3. So I want you to think of a mattress, a big feather top mattress, and you've got 3 layers on your mattress, okay? You've got your blankets on top, and then you've got your fluffy top mattress topper, and then you have your mattress. The same thing happens with our body. My torso, I've got many extra blankets going on my torso. So I do know that when I get rid of and shed some of these blankets, that there'll be some abs underneath there. So anyway, so I want you to think of your skin as the same as that. So what does the definition of epidermis mean? So epidermis comes from the ancient Greek word meaning outer, okay? And the ancient Greek word derma means skin. So it's the outer skin layer. So it encapsulates everything to our body, our skeletal system, our organs, all those sorts of things. So the epidermis is the most important part of the skin. Why? Because it protects, it keeps the body hydrated, it produces new cells. So I want you to think of your skin like my pearl shell here. Isn't it gorgeous? I got this from Broome. But can you see all the layers there? Okay. And this is what we're going to be talking about today, is getting that skin back to that beautiful luster but what's happening with these outer layers, all right? So the outer skin. So the epidermis is responsible for hydration, produces the new skin cells. Sorry, I might have already done that, but it also determines the color. So when we talk about rust spots, which we're going to talk about today, and we see the melanin coming through, that is what's responsible for that outer layer. What's also responsible is that once we produce the outer, so basically the skin's continuously shedding. All right, so think of you going on a weight loss program and you're taking off all those extra layers. That's what we want to do with the skin, because as the skin repairs itself, the cells come to the surface and then sheds off. All right, so it's really, really important to look after that outer layer of the skin. So what happens with the second layer of the skin? Well, that is the epidermis. And the epidermis is the thinnest layer of the skin, okay? So that's your fluffy top mattress, okay? And the dermis, sorry, not the epidermis, the epidermis is the thinnest part of the skin. The dermis, which is your dermal layer, is your second part of the skin. That's where the collagen and the elastin and the supportive skin overall structure is. So it's that inner layer, okay? So that's the middle part of the skin. And that is where all your connective tissue and your nerve endings and your sweat glands, your oil glands, all that. And it's also connected to the hypodermis as well. So you've got your 3 layers of the skin, and they all play different parts of it. But the middle layer, which we're going to talk about more so today, is where your collagen and elastin is, and that is what causes that dip into the skin as we age. So that's where the sagginess comes into. That's where the elastin starts to drop. That's where the collagen starts to break down and get thinner and thinner and thinner. I remember when I was a little girl, I was probably about 15, and I went to my grandmother's house, and she was probably, I can't remember the age, 70 plus, maybe closer to 80. And I remember touching her arm and looking at it, and I could see all her blood vessels and nerve endings and everything. And I was like, oh my, because I'm Dutch. And she said, yes, that's what happens. When you get older, your skin becomes like Glad wrap. I was like, oh my God, I'm mortified. And I think, obviously, this is another reason why I like to look after myself, because I believe, why on earth do you want to thin that skin out by having these, radical facelifts and chemical peels and that, where you're going to thin the skin even quicker, then go outdoors, and especially living in a southern hemisphere in like Australia, where we are susceptible to lots of UV damage. You don't want to be going out there with all these beautiful fresh new skin cells and then get hammered by the sun, which as we know is a trigger for UV damage. All right. So then the main function of the dermis is to protect. It's the cushioning, like I said before, but it's the mechanics of when we get injured. And it also provides the most nourishment to the epidermis. So the dermis layer, where we talk about collagen and elastin and stuff, is what feeds the epidermis. So that outer shell, that outer layer of epidermis, needs to be protected constantly. And I wanted to share some of this with you, because when we talk about skincare and we talk about the supplements that we take within, what is this all doing? And this is what this is all doing. So every time you are taking a supplement or you're using a skincare product, this is all helping those 3 layers of that beautiful skin that we have. Now, the dermal layer also too is where it's vital, because it's located, but it also is a connection. So with the hypodermis, which is your bottom layer of the skin, this has many important functions because it stores the energy of the skin. It connects the dermal layer of the skin to the muscles and the bones, all right? It insulates the skin, the body. So you can tell, and one of those things is that it also has the fat cells in there. So when we talk about cellulite and things like that. So as you age, your hypodermis, which is your bottom layer, decreases in size and the skin starts to sag, but it also carries the most fat content in the body as well. Unfortunately, it's a storage area. So it's an energy storage, but it also contains, that's where it stores the fat. It also gives protection. So the hypodermis is the third layer of the skin where it gives us protection. So think about your butt when you sit on a chair. It gives that cushioning to protect the organs and the bones and the skeletal system, and it gives that cushioning. I've got lots of that actually going on, but we'll talk about that for another time. Okay, so it also gives a protection. Talk about that. Okay, so one of the things is when we talk about the epidermis, going back to the top outer layer, some of the skin conditions that we get from damaged epidermis, which is the outer layer of the skin, is that it's more susceptible to scaly skin, peeling or eroding, dry or cracked skin, dark spots, or growths that change in color. Now, I remember as a young girl, not only by putting moisturizer on my body every day from head to toe, but it also allows me to check every single thing that is going on in my skin, whether my skin's dry, whether I have freckles that have changed, moles that have changed in color. Do you know what I mean? Like, these are things that you have to do on a daily basis, so that you're checking to see, because your body and your face and your skin is the dashboard to what is going on internally into the body. We're like a car, and they're flashing, flashing, flashing. And if we're not taking any notice of what's going on, then, you know, we have, unfortunately, the highest rate of skin cancer in the world. That is not something Australians need to be proud of. But what we do know is that we can change that, okay? And that starts with you as a coach. You then, you know, if you've got grandchildren or you've got children of your own, you can help educate them. So I truly believe that we are all coaches, and that we can help our tribal people, you know, check what's going on in their bodies. Now, the other thing that is very common conditions that happen in the epidermis is acne, boils, dandruff, eczema, and melanomas, okay? So can you see by what we do on a daily basis, this all is preventative health for your skin, because it can lead to many other issues as well. All right, cool. All right, so basically, the main part when we talk about blooming from the inside and out, and us as a aging, so to address sagging, elastin, dry skin, dullness, those sorts of things, the body lacks collagen. So what happens is that after the age of 20 to 30, the body starts producing less collagen. So it produces itself, but it starts to break down. And the reason is because we are in an environmental, constantly UV damage stops the body from producing collagen. Smoking is the biggest one. Sugar is even bigger. So I've been off sugar since last Monday, and I tell you, it is the hardest thing. I gave up smoking like 20 years ago, but I tell you, giving up sugar is harder than that. And so the major contributor in the collagen not being produced in our body is sugar. So that's pretty scary, isn't it? But the great news is that the body can actually absorb, we can get collagen back from our food again. So I'm going to talk about supplements on the inside. So, because remember, we're looking at this outer shell, okay? So we can have dry skin, dehydrated skin, oily skin, normal skin types. So how do you tell if you have dry skin? Well, the common factors, particularly in winter, the body doesn't produce oil, Okay, we do in summer, we sweat and we produce more sebum, which keeps the skin mantle much more, moist. Okay, but in winter we don't sweat, so we don't produce oil, so the skin dries out. Now, people get confused with dry skin and dehydrated skin. Now, dry skin is a lack of omegas. Okay, so we're talking about a lack of oil production. Dehydrated skin is a lack of water. Now, the thing is, dry skin can be dehydrated as well. Okay, predominantly the cells are made up of water and we need instant hydration. So to look younger instantly, go drink 1 liter of water and you will notice a huge difference, particularly if you're going out that night. But how do you tell you have dehydrated skin? Grab your hands now and gently just pinch it together, the skin. And if you see the lines going down that way and across, that is dehydrated skin, when it looks like a crocodile. So if you're looking in the mirror and you see that your skin's looking dehydrated, then you know you need water-based products and you need to drink a lot of fluid internally. All right. Now, how do you tell you have dry skin? Well, when you look into the mirror and you see redness, when you see redness in the skin, it is generally dry, which means you need more omega-3s, and you get that from our amazing omega giants. And whoops, I'm putting in front of my face. Omega giants. Okay, so up your omega giants. And also too, when you have dry skin, oh my God, I just lost my train of thought. I was on a roll then and I got sidetracked. See what happens? I can't multitask very good. So omegas, and also too, when there's redness in the skin, particularly if you get on the décolletage or that, you generally have too much acid in the body as well. All right. So I know myself, when I've had too many acid forming foods, I get a lot of fine wrinkles along my upper lip, just above my lip, where people go, oh, they're smoker's lines. No, they come and go. And that's when you have too much acid. So alkaline is fabulous to have 1 teaspoon at nighttime, every night. And that counteracts the pH in our body. All right. So remember, our skin's like a scale. And so when it's too acid, all sorts of things go out of whack. All right. But one of them is obviously the dryness is from your omegas, but acid forming foods cause wrinkles in the skin. And I notice it more on top of my upper lip. I see those little fine lines. And also to spots. So when our body gets, sometimes you can see what we call rust spots, or we see age spots, sunspots, darkness patch into the skin. Now that generally, or you'll hear things like cloasma that pregnant women get. Well, that's a change of hormones. And my beautiful friend Kylie Bright, that's on, she also, we had that discussion that sometimes she gets these spots that come up and then they disappear as well. So, we know that when our hormones are irregular, and that's also to the hypodermis, is the hormone regulator part of the skin. So, and also the immunity. So the third layer of the hypodermis, which I didn't mention before, is you're responsible for the hormones of the skin and the body, and the immunity of the skin. So can you see, by investing in skincare and supplements for your skin, the layers of that skin, what you're going to improve in your overall health of the skin and the body. All right, so oily skin. Now, generally oily skin we have as we're teenagers, because particularly young boys and young females as well, is that our testosterone and our hormones are at starting to ravish. So the overproduction of sebum, and their skin becomes very, very oily. What happens to, if you find that they are a little bit smelly or have a bit of odor, and that's because of the sugar in their diet. So these are factors that cause with acne as well. So what happens is that when they eat a lot of sugar, the teenage boys, which they do, oh my God, my son's got smelly feet and bad odor and I can't stand to go into his room. That's because sugar turns into bacteria. All right, and that's what feeds it and causes the odor. If you help eliminate the sugar out of their diet, they also will start to reduce the odor in their body as well. So sugar equals bacteria. You can see sugar breaks down collagen. There's so many nasty things that it does in our bodies. And I'm talking about refined sugar. So, you know, your general refined sugar, not the sugars and the fructose that comes from our fruits and all those sorts of things. All right. So oily skin, how do you tell you got oily skin? You have large pores and you have them generally in the T-zone, but you will also have those in the on your cheeks. Okay, so sometimes people get, and even oily skins can get dehydrated as well. All right, and also going back to dry skin, you have tiny or very small pores. Okay, so redness, flakiness, and you need to exfoliate more often. So I'm going to go back to that. Combination skin generally has an oily T-zone, so you get a lot of oil producing down that T-zone. And acne skin, right? So let's talk about acne skin. So acne skin is an overproduction of sebum. And, you know, that's when we look at working from the inside as well. There's a lot of bacteria that are happening in the skin, and generally our livers are over full, you know, like we have, and so what happens is that the body can't digest the amount of fat content going into the body. So people used to say, oh, you get pimples from pizzas. We don't actually get pimples from pizza. You get it from the cheese, okay? So you don't actually get it from the pizza. The same with chocolate. You don't actually get the pimples from chocolate or the cacao. You actually get it from the milk solid content that's in the chocolate. All right. So the thing is that we can have the best skincare in the world, but if you're not working from the inside out and working as a team, you know, within your body and helping that temple put all those things together, then it's no good just using good skincare, because you're going to go, oh, well, that didn't work. So I wanted to address some of these things because I think it's super, super important. And unfortunately, dairy plays a massive part, you know, ice cream, chocolate, cheese, all those sorts of things when we're talking about acne for teenagers or even adult acne as well. All right, so there you're four, you know, generally talking about skin. And the other one I wanted to address before we start getting into what we can do to help work on these things is sensitive skins. So I have super, super sensitive skins, and that's because I'm highly allergic to, well, not highly allergic, but I'm intolerant to a lot of outdoor environments and things that are put onto my skin. So people say, oh, I can't use that product because I'm super sensitive. Well, generally, if you have used conventional skincare that has had chemicals in it, so we're talking about anything that's had like propylene glycol, anything that's got a high alcohol content in it, or say, for example, you had someone that was using a product like Proactive, which has like, oh my God, I've just forgot the name of it for a second. I'll think of it in a second. But anyway, something that's got oxybenzone, that's it. So very active ingredients that are very toxic to the body. The skin will react as you put our products on there. And the reason being is that what happens is that any products we've used in the past sits, well, especially if they've got heavy metals and chemicals and toxins, will sit into the hypodermis layer of the skin where the fat stores the product. So what happens is for me, over time, I worked with a cosmetic company and skincare, which I thought had clean products, where I didn't know any different. And over time, they stored in my body. So the more I used our Young Living products, constantly I was reacting to them, because what happens is it's not our skincare that reacts onto the skin, it is the chemicals that were in there. So when we talk about using supplements from the inside out, a lot of our products like Ningxia Red and Sulfazyme help the body eradicate what currently was in there from previous. Does that make sense? So what we're doing is that we're working on a two-way street where we are getting rid of current, the body's constantly getting rid of heavy metals, chemicals, toxins that have been stored in the body. So I wanted to share some of this because as you start to introduce new products into your regime, sometimes the skin will go, uh-oh, I'm not happy with this. Like for me, when I was using deodorant for the first time, if you've been using deodorants that are aluminium based and Rexonas and all those sorts of things, and then all of a sudden you go and try and put a rock salt underneath there, I'm telling you, your arms are on fire and you have to sleep like this for a week. Yeah. And that sort of helps a little bit when we're talking about the skin. So I want you to eliminate and add a product at a time so the skin gets used to that, and then we can see what's going on. All right. Your skin is something that you have to monitor every day. And the thing is that think of it as a house. So you go around your home and you go, well, I need to light dust here. I need to oil the timber, or I need to do a deep clean or a spring clean or anything like that. The same is with your body. It needs something different every day. So if we talk about the skincare today and the supplements, that may not be something that you'll be on next season. Okay, so going into summer and that sort of stuff. All right, so every day just judge what your body needs. Is the same as when you go to get your oils. What is it that my body needs right now? Okay, all right, so the wonderful news is that the body can bioavailable add collagen into the body. All right, so why is collagen such a big thing? Well, remember when I talked about my grandmother's skin and how it thinned? Well, the collagen is what can plump up instantly. Okay, and it plays such an important part because collagen does so many different things to the body. So when we choose, Young Living chose liquid marine collagen. Now, the reason why is that collagen in a liquid form has a bioavailability, it can absorb the body much easily than it can a bovine or a powder or a porcine, which is a pig-based powder. So liquid collagen, what they did was they took peptin collagen, and you can look up the company, which are one of the best, or actually they are the leaders in liquid marine collagen in the world, from France, and they added green tea and citrus oils to it so that the body was able to absorb it. And telling you from myself personally, been using it, I cannot go without it. When you look up peptin collagen and do some research on what marine collagen does for the body, it doesn't just help with our skin. It helps with our connective tissue when it comes to healing the body. So we're going to talk about that in a moment. It also helps the body's immune system. It also helps the body's to heal. When we're talking about skeletals, when we're talking about type 1 collagen, which is what the liquid marine collagen is, it is the glue that holds everything together. All right, so think of it as a scaffolding for your body, for the skin, and it actually glues. It's the basic building block that the body needs to stay healthy. That's it. And it plays an important part. I absolutely love it. Why does it come in one bottle like this? Well, fish oil, as you know, can go rancid very quickly. And so having it in a shot like this every day keeps the freshness to optimal levels. All right. My girls are 21. They have one of these every day. And some people say, oh, should you take collagen every day or not? There's lots of different things out there. However, for myself personally, I take it every day. A, vanity, yes, it could be. But B, I love the way that it helps support my joints, my ligaments, my muscles. And particularly with me, I was a netballer, so my knees are not the best. And you know what I mean? As you get older, you get over that 50 hill, and guess what? Everything goes up from there. I'm telling you, just joking. But I love the way that it supports my body. I love how it helps improve my skin, my hair, my nails. I just absolutely love what it does for us as well. It also has zinc in there, and it has 13 milligrams of zinc. Now, zinc also, we know there's a lot out there about zinc that helps support the immunity, but is a very big player in how the body absorbs the collagen in. It actually needs zinc to absorb collagen into the body. So it's amazing. Now, why also too, how else can we support collagen production in our body? By drinking your Bloom collagen, which has your 10 milligrams of pectin collagen in there. But also too, the face doesn't get exercise. So the rest of the body, have you ever noticed when you see athletes and that they've got these beautiful glowing skin, tight, that, you know, they don't have saggy skin because they are exercising the body. Well, the face doesn't exercise. I probably do because I talk so bloody much. So you know, my lips, I keep it firm like that. But no, the other way that you can help tighten up the muscles and the skin and prevent sagging and that, and help produce collagen, remember the body produces its own as well, is by using a gua sha, okay, which is a tool, which is they're beautiful crystal tools. We have the Young Living one that we got before, and hopefully they'll come back sometime. And we also have the gorgeous Heart one. You can pick up any good quality ones. And by doing your daily practice, okay, we've got lots of great videos in it. It really helps tighten and move everything that's in the skin, all right? Because remember, it doesn't exercise, so we need to keep that nice and taut. All right, so that's another way that it does. Now, okay, so a couple of other supplements. We've talked about Omega Dyes. Look, Omega Dyes is one of the most amazing products that we have all love for many, many reasons. Not only does it help with our skin, it's got the omegas in there, particularly it helps with our brain health, because predominantly our brain is fatty tissue, so the body needs extra oil in there. Dryness, definitely anyone out there with dryness, get onto your Omega Dyes. The other one I actually love for skin, even though it is just for it has type 2 collagen in there, is BLM, which I really, really love. And it for anyone that is sensitive to shellfish, they can't actually take this one, so it's not for vegetarians. But however, people that are vegetarian can take the Bloom, so that's really good, just so that you know. Vegans, I get them mixed up. But you can't, anyone allergic to shellfish can't actually take the BLM, which is your type 2 collagen. But that also too helps. I love taking that for my skin as well. It plays an important part. The body actually has there's actually 6 different types of collagen in our body. Did you know that? There's type 1, type 2, type 3, there's 4, 5, and 6. According to Dr. Ollie. So I found that really fascinating. So the more that we can take, the more we can, which is much better. Now I'm just checking on, someone's just asked a question, but I think Jeremy's answering some of those things for us. Wonderful. Now, the biggest contributor to healthy, glowing skin and turning back time is your Ningxia Red. This is particular, especially for teenagers as well. The first thing I put anyone with anything skin is sulfazyme, because sulfazyme has MSM in there as well, and Ningxia Red. they play a huge important part in skin, nails, and health. Skin, nails, and hair. And who does not love Ningxia Red? I could go on ages for this, but I'm not going to because I want to get onto the skincare for you guys. But brilliant, brilliant product for the skin. And my last one, if you want to take your skin to the next level and help protect that outer layer, is Master Formula. Since taking this, my skin has completely changed. Not only the reasons is that Master Formula has A, B, C, and D vitamins. Now, in our world, we don't get enough micronutrients, which the skin needs to perform to its ultimate, its ultimate. And the reason is that vitamin A, B, and C, we need to get from our foods. And unfortunately, in our world today, we don't have enough of these in our food content because our soils have been depleted. So if you want to change your skin and start to feed the nutrients back into those layers that we need to look after, Master Formula is brilliant. So do some research on Master Formula. But since taking that, my skin's completely changed and I absolutely love it. And not only that, the energy content is amazing. So it gives me the energy to go out walking. Remember, I'm trying to vacate some of those people that are in my staying in my warehouse. So it's giving me the extra energy to start getting rid of some of that storage that I've got going on, that fat storage, remember, in the hypodermis that we're trying to get rid of. They do say that summer bodies are made in winter. So let's see that's going to happen. All right, so let's get back to so there's some of the things you can do internally. So let's talk about how we can start shedding some of these layers, okay, so that our skin ends up looking like this beautiful pearl shell. Well, Young Living designed a 3-piece system, which is great for men and women, called Bloom Skincare. Now, this was developed to address common skin concerns such as dark spots, dullness, a lack of radiance, dehydrated and uneven skin tone. These are caused by multiple factors that include genetics, exposure to UV rays, heat, humidity, air pollution, and air conditioning. Well, let me tell you, Australia ticks all those boxes, okay? So you can see why we need extra in our skincare to combat some of those things. Now, it was developed with 10 essential oils. Now, the base of it is vetiver, blue cypress, davana, royal Hawaiian sandalwood, clove, jasmine, carrot seed, spearmint, geranium, and frankincense. So I truly believe we are rusting like a car from the inside out. So when we don't have a lot of antioxidants in we are oxidizing. So, you know, when you put an apple outdoors and you take the outer shell of that apple, the outer layer of the apple, it oxidizes and goes brown. Well, that's what happens with our skin. And that's why as the melanocytes come to the surface, they're exposed. And because we are so exposed to those UV damage in the sun, it acts as a trigger. So the 6 steps to healthy skin is daily cleansing, toning, exfoliating or stimulating. So exfoliation or stimulating your collagen for me can be either use an exfoliator or you can use your gua sha every day. Also, hydrating the skin is super important because you're adding water in there. Protecting and moisturizing. All right, so some say there's 5, I believe there's 6. Now, how often do we do this? Every day. So if you're not exfoliating your skin, use your gua sha every day and stimulate the skin. So it's getting its exercise. Can you see that? So for me, I exfoliate every second day. If you've got dry skin, you need to do it exactly about that time. If you've got super oily skin, maybe twice a week. All right, but see how you are. It depends on what you do, whether you work indoors, whether you work outdoors, whether it's summer, whether it's winter. You know, just take into all these things as a consideration. All right, so when we talk about this beautiful cleansing, this beautiful bloom, what it's designed to do is to even the skin tone. All right. So it evens and it hydrates the skin. So remember, all skin types can be dehydrated. However, if you have extra dryness to the skin, you would add an extra product into this program. All right. So you then would use products like Art Intensive Moisturizer into it. You would add extra things into it. But as a basic program to do every day, I suggest the Bloom Cleanser, the Essence, the lotion, with an additional exfoliator, which would be your satin mint scrub. Okay, because what happens, have you ever put butter on a piece of toast? Okay, and it's like, oh, it's not absorbing in. What happens is when you put your moisturizer or a lotion on top of dry skin cells which look dull, it can't penetrate into the skin. The skin is a very smart, complex machine, really, and it can, if you constantly got dead dry skin on there and you're whacking all this moisturizer, guess what? It's only going to sit on the surface and it actually is not going to do any beneficial to your body whatsoever or your face. All right, so it's super important to invest in a really good exfoliator, which I absolutely love. Right, so not only has this, so this time of the year is really good to use Bloom, and for us all year round particularly, because it's able to even out that skin tone. So what happens is that throughout the summer we're exposed to so much sun, but even now, like it's winter now and the sun's outside, you go outdoors, you hang the washing out, you drive to and from work every day, you go watch the kids play football, or you're sitting outside, you go for a walk on the beach. We are constantly in the southern hemisphere exposed to UV lights. If you work in an office, guess what? Your lighting's probably got UV in there as well. So you're constantly being exposed to extra environmental factors that are going to cause, and our diets, our bad habits and our good habits, hopefully there's more than good, but all this is affecting how the skin is and how it's how it's improving and what's causing the sagginess, the dryness, the dullness and the dehydrated skin. So some of my top tips to show you every day is to every morning and night cleanse the skin. Okay, if you use some of the other products in our range, which the Orange Blossom or the Men's 3-in-1, or if you want to the art system, this plays a different part. Because what it does, it allows the body to gently the skin to remove the outer layers. Okay, now how does it do that? Well, we use amazing products, ingredients that one of them in particular is let me just have a look, is the 10 essential oils that in a complex allows the body or the skin to gently remove off or dissolve, I should say dissolve off those outer cell layers. Okay, so it's constantly allowing the skin to regenerate. And that's because of the amazing complex of the Share Lame Brightening Complex. All right. We've also added into this licorice root extract, which is known for its brightening. So when the skin's super dull and dry, it looks dull, really dull. And so what we want to use is ingredients that will really lift off and lighten and brighten the skin and give it that healthy glow. We've also used prac seed oil in there, which helps diminish the appearance of skin spots, pigmentation, and blemishes while hydrating and promoting cellular renewal. How pretty cool is that? Now, if you want to get some great info, order these from Young Living. They're 10 in a packet. And they're really good to have to teach people around, you know, about using this amazing skincare system. All right, so in the morning or at night time, get a flannel. I love to use hand washcloths, and I get a packet of 10 just cotton ones. I'll pop one in the sink. I fill it up with warm water. Please don't use hot water, because hot water on the face will break the capillaries. Add a drop of lavender, and that is amazing. So yeah, you're flying with Donne Cuzzola today. And then use a little bit of your cleanser, pop all over a damp skin, gently massage it into the skin, and then use your beautiful flannel infused with Young Living's lavender oil, and then remove off. All right, already instantly you will feel the skin breathe. Okay, you'll actually feel like the skin can start to breathe. It's beautiful. All right, so use that day and night, and you can alternate it if you currently already have another skincare program, but start to introduce it, because everyone needs to even out the skin tone. All right, now the next thing is hydration, which you will get from this amazing essence. Okay, now this has mica in there, so you can see the beautiful, let's have a look at, sometimes it's like a pearl essence. So mica is an ethically mined rock that we get from France and the USA, and it adds luminosity to the skin so that your skin starts to look like that beautiful pearl shell, and it adds instant hydration. Like, I love this stuff. I actually use it all over my body. So just grab some. You can put some in a spray bottle as well, and then just spray it onto the body. You can even add it into your sandalwood spray if you wanted to as well, and it just adds luminosity. If you girls are going out at night time, it looks beautiful on the skin because it's got that pearly shimmer effect to the skin, so it's beautiful. So what does this have in it? Well, this has apple fruit extract. Now, you all know that I love and I'm obsessed with Cleopatra, and she used to apple extract actually is malic acid, and so anything that has an acid base in there, like milk, apples, anything like that, she used to bathe in there because it had a whitening effect to the skin. So malic or apple fruit extract, as what we have, is high in antioxidants, and this contributes and can increase the skin's hydration by 88%. That's a lot, isn't it? As well as contribute to smoother feeling skin. It also has in there Madonna lily extract. Now, Madonna lily extract helps brighten the skin, decrease the dark spots, and contribute to a more uniform tone, and helps fight the signs of aging. It's also got in there green algae, so it revitalizes. It's got seawater. I didn't even know that. I don't know. I've just seen that right now. It's got seawater, which has been charged with terrestrial minerals such as manganese, zinc, iron, and lithium that remineralizes the skin. Well, there you go. I just learned something new right there and then. So that's pretty cool, hey? So really, really beautiful. Now, not only do these products have amazing ingredients, they also have something in there that's called sodium hyaluronate. Now, another one of our products that has sodium hyaluronate, and you hear a lot about it, is an extract that comes from hyaluronic acid. Okay, now what's special about this is that it plumps up the skin with water, so you can see the hydration in there as well. So pretty cool, isn't it? And then lucky last, so how do we know, like, look at this, is a piece of raw Hawaiian sandalwood that I brought back from Hawaii when we went to the farm. All right, so you can see how dull it is, and then when you add hydration, look at the difference. It's pretty amazing. So it's the same thing as the skin. We're constantly dehydrated. So by using all these amazing extra hydrating products, you can see instantly the life come back into the skin. So I use different products all day, every day. So I love the raw Hawaiian sandalwood. I spray it throughout the day, pop one in your handbag. I love using any hydrosols that have floral waters in there because they instantly hydrate the skin, just like that piece of timber got hydrated. So we constantly need that. Now, exfoliation. I love this beautiful, I use this morning and night, and I use it every second day. I have it in the shower, or you can use it before. And it basically has, I'm just checking that I say the correct thing. It's got mango seed butter in there as well as sunflower seed oil. It's also got apricot seed powder in there. So it's very gentle on the skin, and you just use a beautiful circular motion with lots of water over and around the skin, and wash that off. And instantly when you put your products on, it will just gently, you'll feel that they'll all absorb in and won't stay on the surface. They'll be doing what they need to do underneath. All right, and then lucky last is I always throw, don't forget to put a mask on. So I know you're probably going, Danae, you're confusing us. What are you doing? So every day you use your 3 pieces. So your cleanser, your exfoliator, and your lotion. Okay, so that is your protectant. It goes on last. Now, anything else goes in between those. Okay, so say, for example, you're using, you wanted to use your serum, you would add that after your essence. So basically go in viscosity, so texture wise. So cleansers first, cleansers first, toners, hydrosols, anything water based goes second. Then your serums, use all your serums, whether you make a glow serum, whether you use the Art Renewal serum, anything. And then finish off with your lotion or moisturizer last, okay, just so that you know. And then you would perhaps put on your sunscreen like I do every day. However, if you feel there's too many steps, take some out and do it the next day. And so you don't have to do the same thing every day. I just mix and match depending on what my skin needs, okay? Because I'm working on different things. I'm working on sagging, elastic, I need more elastin, puffiness, dark circles. Oh my God, I've got a lot of things going on. So I've got to, use a lot of different things for different areas that we're doing. All right. Now, when we're talking about moisturizers are the protector. So that is what is designed to protect the skin and seal everything else that goes on. So I like this. I love the fact that Young Living made it so it's nice and light, because when you are using multiple amounts of product, you don't want them heavy, because it's so, in our environment, it gets very hot here. So these are nice and light so that you can use more than one thing at a time. And so why is this lotion so gorgeous? Well, it contains products like pili pulp oil. So it's sourced from the pili farm, the Happy Pili farm in the Philippines, and it's amazing. Antioxidants protect the skin from free radical damage. So remember, we're protecting the outer layer of that skin by using products like this lotion that is nice and lightweight but rich in the ingredients that it contains. It's also got red algae in there as well. So you can see we've taken a lot of things from the sea because they are water binding agents that hydrate the skin and strengthens the skin's natural protective layer. So you can see we're working on that outer layer. It's also got in there the Plumeria actifolia, which is the Frangipani flower. So that comes from places like the South Pacific, which is as a hair and beauty secret for generations, that are fast absorbing and hydrates the skin. And so that's what we want. You can see, you know, everything absorbs beautiful. Less is more, by the way, too. Don't go put too much things on there. You don't need large quantities. Remember, everything from Young Living is concentrated, so you need one small pump, but I love the way that it absorbs into the skin. The other last thing, which also is, don't forget the eyes. All right, so the eye area is super, super important. So I love that we have the wolfberry eye cream, and you need a tiny little amount. You just place it on the bottom, on the bone there, and around the top. The eye will absorb in what it does. And the reason why we use a different eye cream to the rest of the face is that the eye area doesn't contain a filtration system. And so if we use anything too heavy and oily, you will develop little globules of fat called milia. So have you ever seen them before? And so that's because the eyes don't have a filtration system. So using your gua sha every day around the eyes will help with puffiness and dark circles, and it will help move everything that's sitting under there as well. So there you go, everyone. I'm hoping that you have enjoyed this session. I just love our skincare. I cannot tell you how much it is a pleasure to use plant-based products every day. The smell, the way it makes our bodies feel, the way it makes our bodies look and our skin looks. And I hope you can share that with someone out there. I know you're all beauty coaches. And also too, sunscreen. Let me just quickly tell you guys about sunscreen. Even though you may not always be going out in the sun every day, it is vital to wear sunscreen. Mine's in my bathroom, that's why it's not here. But I place sunscreen on my face every day. And the reason is that ours is particularly thick because it has what we call a non-nano particle zinc base, which means the zinc is large enough to use as a protective layer. And remember, we're getting a lot of damage from UV damage, whether it's outside or it's inside from the lights, environmental damages, and all those sorts of things. And so a lot of the products out there now have an ingredient called oxybenzone, which I did touch on before, and that is a bleaching agent that they were putting in our acne-based products, but they're also putting them in sunscreens. Now, our oxybenzone is what's responsible for the coral reefs bleaching. The animals or the fish now that were female and now become male, so they actually have two genitalias, so they actually are being able to change, and that is from oxybenzone. So I want you to do some research on there. And there has been a heap of sunscreens recalled. Some were all the skin, the Australian the Cancer Foundation, which is just mortifying. And so ours is actually made here in Perth. How cool is that? So use it every day. You know, yes, it does take a little bit of extra time to pop on, but just warm it up. Grab a pea size and then just massage it to each part of the body. Get the kids to do it. Tell them that they don't want to be using that stuff at school, that they're allergic to the one at school, and make sure that you pop it all on for the kiddies before they go to school. But please do some research on oxybenzone, and ours is just brilliant. You can mix it with a bit of moisturizer or foundation and make a tinted moisturizer if you like, and you can just use that every day and pop it on. But truly makes a huge difference in your skin, and I know it's definitely a preventative to those skin things, conditions out there that everyone's getting. So there you go. Sorry, I did forget to touch on that because it wasn't here. If it's out of mind, out of sight, I forget to talk about it. So I hope you guys have all, yes, and the xenoestrogen effects that it's all having on the body. So by using our skincare, you totally eradicate things like parabens, fragrance, sodium lauryl sulfates, all the dirty dozen of the chemical world. And that plays a huge impact on our health and our body. So, you know, for me, before I would leave in the mornings in the bathroom, I was putting between 500 to 1,000 toxic chemicals on my body before I left in personal care products. And that's pretty scary, isn't it? So pick, you know, instead of counting calories, count your chemicals. And swap out your beauty bags and your personal care, and honestly your body will, you know, your skin will start glowing, you'll feel better, and you know, we got to turn back time and go back the other way. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you get to take, you know, if you don't mind, just in the chat box before you leave, please feel free to ask me a question, but just leave one little message of one tip that stood out to you today, and hopefully that you can pass on to someone else, because there's others out there waiting to come on our journey with us. And yeah, I really appreciate you sharing this Sunday morning with me.